Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on your Monday morning. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here on THV 11 Morning News and streaming on your TV with THV 11 Plus. I'm Hayden Balgavy. Karen is off today, but meteorologist Tracy Bean back with us for another 3 hours. And Ashley King now in the house with the first check of traffic, and you brought trouble with you since you walked
Look
in
at
the door.
that.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
We're making you work like immediately
yeah,
when you get here.
I know it. Look at this.
Look at there.
Right behind me. As soon as I walked in, Tracy said, "Oh no!" I said, "Oh, this happened 1 minute
Yeah, I was like,
ago."
I didn't say that.
Yeah, so
It's
we're
not a
about
way to
find
start.
out.
You know, the way to start the Monday.
Yeah, just a heads up, it is on Interstate 40 North Hills Boulevard exit.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm about to walk out the door, I need to know where this is immediately. But we'll get more details in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little weather first, and I'll be quick so we can get to that. It's going to be, that's more important than our really quiet weather this morning. We are starting a little chilly this morning, but skies for the most part. There's a few clouds, but not a lot. 47 in central Arkansas, so make sure your kiddo has a jacket or maybe a hoodie as they're heading out the door to the bus stop. Currently across the state, we've got a lot of 40s and a few 30s here and there in those valley areas, but we'll all warm up nicely today. But don't worry, these mornings are going to warm up as well. As we're heading into the week, we'll continue to see those 50s, staying well above that average even as we make a little trail downward as we're heading into the weekend and early next week. But across the state, again, absolutely beautiful today. Sunny skies after this cool start. We're going to see those highs in the mid to upper 70s and even a few 80s here and there. And as far as those highs, we're going to see those 80s again by Wednesday. So that's going to be nice. And again, well above that average. We do have some rain headed our way, possibly Thursday, some showers, and we could even have that potential for some severe weather on Friday. We're keeping an eye on it. Again, it's a lot of uncertainties right now with that system, but we'll keep you updated, of course. But for now, we're going to go ahead and send things back to Ashley, and we'll find out more about that accident.
Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, we've issued a traffic impact alert because this has several lanes blocked here on Interstate 40 if you're traveling westbound. Again, this is near exit 154. So this is around the North Hills Boulevard exit or right before you get on to Interstate 30 if you're traveling on Interstate 40 going westbound. So this is blocking the left, center, and left shoulder. As you can see, a lot of cars trying to merge over to the far right lane to get around this. And I don't think this happened all that long ago. We do see some law enforcement, some emergency vehicles that are on the scene. But it's going to take some time to clear this as they are trying to maneuver all of these vehicles around this accident here. So again, 40 westbound around exit 154. So this is around the North Terminal interchange. We'll check this again to see how it looks in just a few minutes.
We begin this hour with developing news and developing new details after a deadly mass shooting rocked a neighborhood in Shreveport, Louisiana. Investigators say a gunman opened fire inside multiple homes, leaving 8 children dead and others hurt. Police say officers tracked down the suspect after a short chase, and right now they are still working to understand what led up to this violence. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn has the very latest on the investigation.
Father God, I ask you to bring families together.
Shreveport residents gathered to pray hours after a shooting that authorities described as pure evil.
It just makes you take your children and hug them and hold them and tell them how much you love them.
Early Sunday morning, police say Shamar Elkins hunted down his own children in a shooting spree at 2 different houses and on neighborhood streets. 8 children were killed. Police believe the shooter was the father of 7 of the young victims.
It lets you know that evil still exists in the world and that we need to be fighting everything we can to overcome that.
Police are still processing the scene where bullet holes were visible in the door. The mother of some of the children and another woman were both wounded and hospitalized. Other victims, including a 13-year-old, survived by crawling out a second-story window during the shooting.
One of the children escaped by jumping off the roof, I think broke her leg in the process. So we really don't know. He then hijacked a vehicle and took off, but the police gave chase.
Police say Elkins fired at them during a pursuit and was killed.
Domestic violence is real. We need to make certain that resources are going to be put in place, hopefully to prevent another incident like we witnessed here today.
Elkins had been placed on probation in 2019 after pleading guilty to illegal use of weapons, but police say they were not aware of any other domestic violence issues. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Authorities say the children's mother often shared posts online featuring the family, including images of their father smiling with them. Just 48 hours before the shooting, Elkins also posted a photo of one of the children with an affectionate caption. Meanwhile, this morning, at least 3 people are hurt after an overnight shooting near the campus of Iowa. Police in Iowa City say a gunfire alert went out just before 2 a.m. Sunday, following reports of a street fight that escalated into gunfire. Officials say multiple victims were taken to local hospitals with gunshot wounds. No arrests have been made, and investigators have not released details on a suspect or the victims. Police in Pine Bluff are searching for a man they say is connected to a shooting. The incident happened Friday on West 30th Avenue. Investigators say the suspect, 36-year-old Ricky Ray, was last seen driving a small white SUV while fleeing the scene. Ray is now facing charges, including possession of a firearm by certain persons and first-degree battery with an active warrant. Police warn he should be considered armed and dangerous. They are asking anyone with information on his whereabouts to contact the Pine Bluff Detective Office right away. Little Rock police are investigating a deadly shooting after officers responded late Saturday night to the 11300 block of Maryland. Now, they arrived and dispatchers directed them to another location on West Markham, where they found a man suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital, where he later died from his injuries. Police say they have a suspect in custody, and the homicide investigation is ongoing. A growing dispute inside Pulaski County government this morning as the county judge calls for the treasurer to resign over questions about how millions of dollars were handled. The issue centers on a recent transfer of emergency funds after officials were told the county might not have enough money to pay employees. County Judge Barry Hyde now says that warning was inaccurate, and a review shows there was no true financial emergency. Earlier this month, the Quorum Court approved moving $42 million from reserve funds into the county's operating budget based on those concerns. Now county leaders say audits show that money was never missing, and they are pushing for accountability.
So as county judge and chief financial officer of this county, I'm calling for the treasurer's immediate resignation from that position.
The treasurer, in her statements to the court, failed to mention revenues collected throughout the year and the ordinance appropriating monies to the various budgets making up the general fund.
The county controller says Pulaski County ended the past 2 years with positive balances, and a reported deficit this year was tied to delayed payments that have since been made. The Quorum Court will now decide whether to move that $42 million back into reserves, while the treasurer has not publicly commented. A new lawsuit is targeting the Pine Bluff School District and its school board, accusing them of multiple violations of Arkansas's Freedom of Information Act. The complaint claims that over several months, the board failed to properly record meetings, capture public comment, and clearly document required steps during executive sessions. It also alleges minutes were not properly maintained in at least one meeting, raising concerns about transparency in how public business was conducted. The lawsuit says repeated warnings were made before legal action was taken, and it argues the public has a right to fully access and review how decisions are made in a publicly funded school system. Parents in Central Arkansas have a free summer option for kids this year through the Salvation Army Central Arkansas. The organization offering a week-long camp for children ages 7 to 12, focused on outdoor activities, friendships, and personal growth. Space is limited, and families are encouraged to RSVP for an upcoming parent meeting to secure a spot. For more details or how to register, parents can call a number on your screen right there, 501-374-9296, or you can visit thv11.com. A few months ago, we first introduced you to Andrew Price, a young musician from Little Rock who lost his home and all of his equipment in a house fire. Price is blind and relies on specifically made instruments and gear to make his music, making that loss even more difficult. But as we first showed you, he has continued pushing forward through his passion for music. Now, THV11's Carter Thweet shares a very positive update on Andrew's journey.
I was going crazy.
Andrew Price describes the immediate aftermath of this January house fire as miserable, not just losing a house, but losing the ability to play.
Whenever I can't play any music, it just, like, I feel disconnected.
But quickly things started to turn. Over at Renowned Music in North Little Rock, owner Brandon Toney also experienced a house fire growing up.
I could empathize immediately, and especially him being a musician, and he's blind. I mean, I can only imagine that music is just everything.
And he wanted to help that music play again.
And I'm like, well, you know, we sell instruments, I can find you a keyboard, you know, and then, so we did that. I found him one with a nice case as well, so that was kind of added bonus.
But that wasn't all. Local country music duo and 2025 Arkansas CMA Entertainers of the Year, Cliff and Susan, saw the story too.
We took him into a studio and showed him around our studio, and he was really interested in how everything works in recording.
They even recorded a video for one of Andrew's favorite songs, encouraging their fans to donate to his cause.
Music is a gift and it brings people together, and in this situation it brought us together with Andrew.
And the music brought Andrew to a place of joy.
It feels like a new chapter, honestly.
Thank you, Carter. Now, Andrew still needs to replace a few more pieces of equipment like his BrailleSense computer and producing software. If you'd like to help out, the link for that will be on thv11.com. Well, let's send it back over to meteorologist Tracy Bean, helping us plan our Monday today, and it is our favorite pet, George, in the house.
Yeah, we've got
digital
our,
George, I guess.
Well, you know, somehow I've got to get a little animated George. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to figure that out. But George, you know, has been bringing along his friends lately. So it's your sunny with a chance of George forecast. If you're heading out for a walk this morning, it is going to be a good one. And I've got from my very own hometown, Maumelle, Otto. Look at Otto's eyes. Isn't that the sweetest? His dad, Ethan, sent this in. And again, how can you not take Otto for a walk? A long walk, but maybe carry him. He probably looks a little short there. Little legs, little bitty legs. But it's going to be a great day. Again, green paws all day long.